Hello, everyone. I am Metroid Crime, and I am your host today for Lady Arcaders Attract Mode. If you're new to Lady Arcaders, let me tell you all about us. We are an all-women's gaming collective. We welcome all women in gaming, speedrunners, developers, and casual fans alike. In addition to our cozy private community, we run weekly showcases on our Twitch channel, as well as larger charity events throughout the year. If you want to keep up with Lady Arcaders events, you can join our public Discord to get updates. You can type !Discord in chat for a link. If you're a woman in gaming, come join our community. There's a link on the website, again, to our public Discord, and you can request an invite to our private Discord from there. And speaking of which, this is Attract Mode. We basically show off all sorts of different types of things. Today we have a bit of an unconventional showcase here. Today's showcase is an Unhinged Rant about Touhou. You may have tuned in last week to see part 1. This is part 2. And you can catch the VOD for part 1 on our YouTube channel as well. But yes, I'm super excited. We have a new comms team today. We got KSS on comms today with Rena, who is Professor Bun, who is doing the showcase today. Yeah, so without further ado, let us head over to Rena.
Oh, it's magic. We're back, just like that. No pizza this time, unfortunately. Sad day, no pizza. Only for the first time, and hopefully we'll stop dropping mega frames here. Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to class 2, hopefully the last class we have to do on this. Welcome back everyone. We unfortunately do not have our original audience members with us. They shall be with us in spirit. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it to class today, which is instant demerit, so... Oh well, I'm sure they'll be fine. But we do have someone new who just got in. Go ahead and say hi.
Hi, I'm Alex, or KSS. Hi.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. We're back to talk about Touhou. The blackboard looks a little different than it did last time. I filled in some drawings that we didn't have time to do last time. So we got Mima down here hitting a fat one. Of course, we would never leave her out. We got some drawings for games 10 through 12. Let's see if you can find. They're not hard to find. Let's see if you remember anything from last time, and you can identify which ones are new. There we go. I'm not gonna ask you which ones are new. That's not the test. Don't worry, the test comes later, and will be 75% of your grade. So, just putting that out there. Without further ado, though, I think we better continue, because I want to get this wrapped up in 2 hours, because I actually have to go hang out with my mother after this, so, a round of applause for, my mother, who birthed me. Of course.
I believe that's how it works.
Usually. But anyways, if I remember correctly, last time we left off at Touhou 13, I think. I think that's where we left off. I think that's why I wrote it down here. We're in the Modern Era 2. Modern Era, the sequel. Which, by the way, if you think just because we're at the end of the timeline here, it's gonna be a quick show, I got bad news. I got horrendous news. We're gonna be here for a little bit. So, Touhou 13 is a whole thing. It's actually surprisingly very connected to Touhou 12, which usually doesn't happen in the Touhou games. Usually they're kind of disconnected, and it's sort of like a Monster of the Week kind of deal. But Touhou 13 and Touhou 12 are quite interconnected. It's very interesting. So we leave off right after Touhou 12 with Byakuran's back, and you know, the Pelican ship is now a temple. It's just something that she can do. She turns the Pelican ship into a Buddhist temple. If you don't ask questions, just roll with it.
Don't worry
It'll be
about
fine.
it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And by don't worry about it, I mean ask all questions. Please ask questions. I need people to bounce off of. I'm actually looking at chat this time because I need people to bounce off of. So please ask questions. Raise your hand. By the way, the answer to that question is it's magic. Don't question it. So no need to raise your hand on that one. But so we've got the temple, the Myorin Temple, I believe it's called, and Byakurin plops it right over a whole other temple, and the temple below, it's, oh gosh, what's its name? I don't care about Touhou 13. It's kind of a bad game. It's the it's a hall of something. It's a hall of spirits, I think. Something like that. And the Hall of Spirits or whatever is the resting place for like a minor god kind of thing. Her name's Miko, and she's been sleeping for 1,000 years. She's been big chillin' for quite some time now. But now that Myorin Temple has been plopped right above the Hall of Spirits, it sort of wakes up Miko a little bit, or it kind of agitates the spirits around, because the temple beneath is not, they're not Buddhists, they're Taoists, and Taoists and Buddhists, just like in real life, hate each other. they hate each other. They are at each other's throats. So naturally, Byakurin just plopping down a big Buddhist temple right on top of the domain of the Taoists. They're not very happy about that. They're a little peeved. Why is
You mean they're not happy? They're crushing it?
Yeah, they're not. 13 is bad because I say it's bad because my opinion matters. Next question. No, 13 has a weird design philosophy where, like, the actual game is kind of easy, but it just gives you no extra lives. Just none. Just completely starves you out.
Yeah, the resource system is super punishing if you mess up even once.
Yeah, it's a nice and easy game, but you're just not allowed to die. It's an interesting trade-off. But so of course, because the spirits are agitated again, because this happens every Saturday, I guess, in Gensokyo. You know whose time it is. It's Reimu and the gang off to go beat some people up and solve the issue.
Normal Tuesday night for Reimu.
Normal Tuesday night for Reimu, as always. I don't know why she's still so keen on this, like, however many years later, but oh well. I guess she's used to it by now. And Sane is playable again in this game. Yomo is also playable in this game. But
she sucks.
Yeah, she does suck. As she always has and always will. But she's playable in this game. Her shot type's weird. It's a whole thing. She's got, like, this one option that trails behind her. It's very useless.
And she doesn't, like, shoot like the other shot types. You have to charge and she'll swipe her sword when it's done charging.
It's a whole thing. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand Yomu players. They're playing a different game. Oh no! What happened to the music? What happened to the music? Oh, it's just YouTube.
Quite literally bringing a sword to a gunfight.
It's so not fun. But this is like the first, I'm trying to think, 11, 12. Yeah, this is the first time Yomu has been fully solidified as one of the main cast. So good job, you for real made it in this time. You're not faking it through Touhou 8. Good job. welcome to the main cast. Very cool. So of course they have to go down there and solve the whole issue with the Taoists and the Buddhists having a big old fight again. They're on their stuff. Go beat up Miko, who's woken up and is like, "Hey, what's going on? I've been snoozing for a little bit. What sort of fun things have you guys been doing?" And it's like, there's nothing to worry about. Just chill out, relax, maybe even consider going back to sleep. I don't want to deal with this right now. It's like, oh, okay, well, since you won in a Danmaku duel, I physically can't say no. Anyways, I think you're supposed to ask for tea. Yeah, let's go for tea. They all have tea together. It's a whole thing. They all have tea together. They have a great time, and it is actually Touhou 13 music. It's very interesting. The music is divided into two separate tracks. An entire OST. Because the game's main gimmick is this really strange hyper mechanic called trance, and when you go into trance, it cuts out some of the instruments and boosts the bass, which is I believe that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, it turns way more percussion heavy, and it's actually at a lower sample rate to sound more gritty.
It's super nice. It's super interesting. It's one of my favorite things in Touhou, this soundtrack. It's very fun. It's very interesting. Definitely go give it a listen, which is something I will say for the rest of the soundtracks you're going to hear. Thankfully, don't have to worry about Touhou 13 for too long, because we are once again in the era of Touhou where a lot of things haven't had the chance to come back a lot again. We're past the era where everything's coming back and everything's important. So we can sort of fly by a little bit, take a little glance, and then be on our way. So Touhou 14, we're still in modern era 2. And we're back to being completely disconnected. There's some, can you believe this? There's some havoc going on in Gensokyo. And actually, who should I draw for 13? Actually, what drawing should I put on the board for 13? Should it be the Wooster?
Yes, it should be Kagero, definitely.
A Wooster. She's just wearing pajamas, isn't she? She's basically wearing pajamas, right?
It's a very casual looking dress.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. She kind of looks like Tiwi. A little bit. The dress kind of looks like Tiwi's, if I remember. It's just a little more casual. Let's see, where do I put her? Where do I put her? Let's put her here. Let's give her the classic stick figure. And she'll be doing the awoo. She'll be doing the awoo, of course. We have to. Give her the sleeves. Yeah, this is a normal depiction. Yoink, yoink. You know what? She's just wearing a t-shirt now. Yeah, I just gave her a t-shirt, which isn't too far off. But, and I feel like I should give her just legs. Yeah, just give her some legs. And some glorious shoes that are appropriate for Woofer. And I actually haven't played a lot of Touhou 13 as a result of me thinking it's one of the worst ones. Crazy revelation, I know. Bonk. Yeah, big noodle arms. Very important big noodle arms.
Just like the real deal with Sun's art.
Yeah, Zun's art's a whole thing. I can never tell what sort of fun things he's going to do with the next character. Is it going to be big noodle arms, or are there going to be arms so short that they literally don't pop out of the sleeves? Who knows? Will Zun draw the hands, or will he find another clever way to cover it up? Who knows? Now,
hey, Rena.
Yeah.
Just popping in here for a second. If you have music playing, we don't hear it on stream. I just wanted to make sure we can hear all that good Touhou music because I know how great the soundtrack
should
is.
I turn it up then? Because I see
it
popping
doesn't
up
seem
on the.
to be.
I see it popping up on the audio mixer.
Oh really? Huh. Interesting. Yeah, try turning it up possibly.
All right, we're up a little bit.
If not,
I don't hear it on the stream at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is good enough for Cat Grows
Okay,
Hair.
it's on the feed. Okay, I think we're good now. It sounds like we are good. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Back to class.
Yes, yes. Oh, I can't believe someone interrupted me for something so silly. Oh no, no, thank you. Oh, yeah, she got the woo for ears. Yeah, these are perfectly fine woo for ears. Whoa. Oh, look at her. She's having a great time now. Alright. How big should our woo be? I think it should be very big. I think it should take up a disproportionate amount of space on the whiteboard, actually. But I do actually think Touhou 13 is quite interesting. The weird trance mechanic is actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty interesting, even if I don't know how to work it. How? There we go. This is a normal size for this sort of thing. And don't worry, we're coming up to Touhou 14, so we'll have someone else saying it. If you know, you know. Kiwi's pronounced Tay because W. Oh my gosh. It's just Tay now?
Yep.
My entire life is a lie.
Japanese expert is here. Well, decent at it.
And for that, I will say, I'm going to proceed to continue to call her Tiwi out of habit. I'm so sorry.
How dare.
I'm gonna do the same thing to Oren, by the way. So don't worry, it's equal opportunity. I've known her name is Rin for the longest time. My brain just stopped caring. Oh man. So double dealing character. Double dealing character is very famously a broken game because of one YouTube video. Thank you, guy who made one YouTube video. I appreciate it. But it's actually a super fun game. I don't play it at all because I don't think it's a super fun game, but it's a super fun game. I'm not gonna lie to you. But for once, my opinion actually is incorrect. But Touhou 14 is a strange game because it doesn't really have like a scoring mechanic like the others. Like with 12, you got the UFOs. With 11 and 10, you got like the faith and the reception meters and stuff. But 14's main gimmick is essentially using the point of collection for its intended purpose, which is so crazy. And that's all. That's kind of all it's got. Which is fine, I guess. It's fine. It works. It's kind of back to basics, which isn't a bad thing. But I will roast it for it. But Touhou 14, the whole incident surrounds these two characters. One of them who is just famously the worst person ever, and the other who is just kind of vibing. We got Seija, who is 100% the worst person ever. That's her entire character trait. She's just the worst person ever. There's no redeeming traits. There's nothing else that makes her interesting. She is just, like, she's perpetually on her villain arc. And she never wants to stop. And quite frankly, expected.
And then we have Shin Yomaru, who is very small.
That's also her only character trait. Oh no. Oh. But so they are teaming up. They're having a great time together. But of course Seija, who is always on her villain arc, is here to ruin everything. Her thing is she's a specific kind of yokai. Amana something something.
Manajoku.
Amanajoku. I've never known how to pronounce that. I've just known it in my head forever. But her thing is that she is like, if you are like a certain way, she is the exact opposite way. She's like, she is the exact opposite of like everything within the vicinity of like, within like, I don't know, like a couple meters. She's really, literally just here to be as annoying as possible. That's her power, to just be annoying. And Shin Yomaru is an inchling, and she's got this hammer. It's called the Miracle Mallet, and it just makes things small and or big. And so they are coming together because Shin Yomaru, I think it's because Shin Yomaru wants to be a normal size. I think that's the deal. I don't remember much about 14 because it is honestly a very boring game. But thankfully, the story doesn't matter that much because all the fun stuff comes from the gameplay. All the fun stuff happens in the gameplay because despite it supposed to being like a very like vanilla, like normal experience, it's not. It's not. It's not. This game goes crazy. This game does insane things, the likes of which you will never want to see again. You get to fight Seija and Shin Yomaru in this game, and they're like the best worst fights in the entire series. Because I'm sure you've seen there's like one very famous like Touhou clip going around right now, of the Seija fight. Because her deal is, because her entire character trait is to perpetually be on her villain arc and be as annoying as possible. This translates perfectly into gameplay because she will reverse and like rotate the screen, and in turn also your controls, which is the worst thing ever and the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and I hate it. And I never want to see Zun do anything like this ever again.
It sucks.
Which, in my opinion, is great character building. Knocked it out of the park. And with Shin Yomaru, she will literally make you big. She whacks you with the Miracle Mallet, and then she makes you and your hitbox very big, and that's her thing. And it is also super annoying and surprisingly deceptive. When you're super big, you realize how questionable the hitboxes are. And it is basically required that you play Reimu, because throughout the games, the deal is Reimu always has the smallest hitbox out of all of the characters, which is sort of to make up for the fact that she like usually has a wide range and she moves a little slower. But she's got the small hitbox. She's great at dodging. Whereas Marissa has the bigger hitbox, but she's more focused fire. She moves a little faster. And oh, do you feel it when you're big? There are certain attacks that are just almost impossible to dodge with the other characters, but you just kind of have a fun time as Reimu. It's super easy. It's hilarious. In fact, the playable characters are the big draw for this game, because they're absolutely insane. Saki is playable in this game again, and and you actually get to use her time stop powers in this game, kind of. With Sakia A, you shoot off these knives, which when they like stick into something, it like slows their pattern down. It like slows time for them, and it trivializes the entire game. It's hilarious how like easy the game is with Sakia A. And it's crazy because the game is actually really hard when you're not playing Sakuya A. Like, if you're not playing Sakuya A, the game's like pretty hard. I'd put it up there with like 11 and 12. There's like a seriously crazy curve going on. I even have I have trouble getting even the normal 1cc. I'm just bad at it.
Sakuya B is just hilariously bad.
Yeah, the Sakuya B is awful. There's no balance. It's either bad or like broken. There's no balance. It's great. And of course, Marissa's also broken in some way, because her bomb just allows you to farm lives. She puts out this this area that just auto cancels bullets, and you can just sit in there for like, I don't know, 30 seconds, and you just win for a little bit. It's great. I love it. It's hilarious. It turns the entire game into an absolute joke, as per usual. And of course, as if you didn't need more, Reimu is also crazy broken, because with her A shot, you can spam your attack, and for some reason it does a ridiculous amount of damage. You completely melt like every boss in the game. It's hilarious. Some of these things are patched out, but some of them are still in the game, and they're still funny to this very day. Let's get the other Awoofer in here, as I look up what she looks like. People are gonna be very mad at me because I don't remember what Kagero looks like. I know Kagero is a big favorite. I actually, like, personally know a bunch of people who really like Kagero, and they're gonna be yelling at me for quite some time because of this. But I want to make sure I do her justice. Okay, yeah, she does just have a big dress. All right, I was correct. She just has a big dress. Okay, cool. I was not incorrect. Excellent. Wonk, and we're gonna give her the big swoop neck. She's got long sleeves.
Kazun likes long sleeves.
Oh,
he doesn't have to draw the arms then.
I mean, great for me, because that means I don't have to draw the arms either.
True.
Oh, yeah, this is fun. The big dress. And Kagero, actually, important character, kind of, because she is our first voice line in the Touhou series. She's the first one. It's crazy. She actually gets a voice line, and it's a woo. It's this one. That's why two characters are saying it. She gets the awoo. A proper awoo. She actually says it. It's very nice. And
what about Dean?
Does she have a voice line?
Yeah, she meows.
Oh yeah, she does. Our second one. I forgot that she meows. They never make it that far into subterranean animism. Then again,
Essay is hard.
Essay's so hard. I don't know why. I feel like Zun was getting like a little like self-conscious about the hardness of his games. The like normal shmup community finally got to him. He was like, "Fine, fine." But yeah, she does our awoo. She also has a big bow for some reason. Why? I don't know. And she's got the long flowy hair. Yeah, this will work. And she's a wolf, so she also gets the ears. I don't know why Zun was on this little bent for a little bit, but I'm fine with it. Yeah, more woo for ears. Wonk, wonk. Wow! Perfect. And you think for 1 second I'm drawing these hands? Heck no. No, we're mimicking Zun's art style here. Absolutely not. But of course, as you can imagine, with the plot of Touhou 14, with these two, with this, with Seiya just causing utter chaos throughout the entirety of Gensokyo, as is her nature. The only thing that she can do. The only thing she's physically capable of doing, causing chaos. Of course, it's up to Reimu to deal with it. So Reimu goes out, beats up Seiya, also beats up Shin Miyamaru. Though at this point in the story, they're kind of like pretty disconnected. Because Shin Miyamaru has already been betrayed by Seiya. Yeah, Seiya. She's already been betrayed by Seiya because, once again, Seiya is perpetually on her villain arc. There is no friends. No friends allowed. So by the time Reimu gets there, Shin Miyamaru's like, I don't know. I'm kinda already done with all this. I'm kinda good. And Reimu's like, well, I don't think you understand how this Touhou thing works. I gotta beat up someone. And, I mean, you're around. Wanna go? Like, yeah, I guess. And so they go. And Shin Miyamaru is like, okay. Well, alright, I guess that's some level of retribution. Fine, cool. You want some tea? Yeah, let's go get tea. They all have tea together, except for Seiya. I don't think Seiya actually comes along for tea. That's how you know she's the true villain. She doesn't come along for tea. That's how we know. Absolute menace. Turns down the tea. Needs to be stopped.
How dare.
We can never have this. But it's funny because Seiya is such a villain and so perpetually on her villain arc that she gets her own game where she is essentially evading the Gensokyo police. That's her entire like sub game. I want to say it's 14.5.
14.3 impossible spell card.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, 14.5 is the fighting game spinoff, right?
I believe that's Hopeless Mask. Is that no? That's Urban Legend of
Yeah,
Limbo.
I think that's Urban Legend. Yeah. So for the entire she gets her own whole side game all to herself, where she is running away from the cops. And it's gotten so bad. It's gotten so bad that people have just started ignoring the spell card rules that we talked about earlier in the last lecture. They're like, okay, we're no longer playing around. We actually need to, like, bring some justice here. And they start making impossible spell cards. Purely for the sake of catching this one absolute menace to society. Absolutely insane. And the whole game is just dodging impossible spell cards, as the name would indicate. It's very funny.
Full nightmare moment.
Oh gosh. I don't need to be reminded.
That card. That card.
That moment. By the way, that's also honestly gonna be real. Probably the best shmup side game, honestly, if I'm gonna be real.
It is so fun.
It's so fun. And it means you get to be a menace to society, and that's always fun. I love being a menace to society, don't you?
Yeah.
Of course.
Be trans, throw hands.
Exactly. I'm always saying this. But yes, we can swiftly move on to Touhou 15, where things get crazy. Things get crazy in Touhou 15. Touhou 15 is a crazy game for the lore, because we get to talk about the Lunarians up here again. The Lunarians. We're back to the bunnies. We're back. It's bunny game, and you know it's bunny game because Resin is playable, which officially nominates her to the main character cast. Good job, Resin. You made it. Welcome. 4th player slot, just barely scraping in, but you're doing a great job. Good job, Resin. Thank you. So, for Touhou 15, there is a whole thing with this one character. Her name is Junko. and she is a divine spirit, which is kind of like an evil spirit from the PC98 era. So this is the closest we're getting to Mima. So I guess enjoy her while she's here. So she is upset about her son because her son was killed in a war a long time ago with Chang'e, which is not the correct way to pronounce it probably, but no one can stop me. So there was this big war between the Lunarians and Chang'e, who is this sort of god, because I think they were really upset at her for taking a sip of the Harai elixir, kind of like they were with Kaguya, and so they went into a whole war against this one person, and eventually they locked up. But Chang'e did end up killing Junko's son in that war. So Junko is still very mad at like everyone. She's mad at the entire moon. She is here to destroy it. She is here to make the entire moon civilization, every single one, just crumble. She's not here for any of this. So, of course,
she's come to make an announcement.
So, of course, what do you do when you want to, destroy the entire moon? You, of course, enlist the most powerful god you can find, who in this case is Hecata Lapis Lazuli, real name, who dresses up in Hot Topic fashion. No, I'm not kidding. And...
Not kidding at all.
And so they are like... So Junko's like, hey, we've been friends for a little bit, we vaguely know each other. I kind of want to destroy the entire moon. Can you help me? And of course, Hecata, being the god of the earth and hell, and probably it's the heavens and hell and earth, I think. She's the god of all of them. I don't know how she got this position, but she's there. That's her deal. She's the god of, like, the heavens, hell, and earth. All three bodies. And so she's like, yeah, sure. I don't care. Let's go for it. Could be funny. It would be hilarious. It would be a very funny prank. So they team up, and Hecata calls upon, like her, like, crazy hell fairy army, and goes to war with the Lunarians. So it is an all-out, like, full-on battle between the Moon Rabbits trying to defend the Lunarians and the Hell Fairies, who are trying to destroy the moon. Yes, this is all real. I wish I was joking. And so, all this conflict is going on. And I think, like, some of it spills out onto, like, Earth and Gensokyo, because the Lunarian capital and Gensokyo are sort of, like, a little tied to each other a little bit. Not technically, but, like, they're both fantastical spaces for creatures of legend to live in, so, you know, they pick up on the vibes of each other a little bit. So it is up for Reimu and gang to go up there and go stop this literal war going on. Get to the bottom and see what's going on. And beat up some people, as per usual. That's just how it works. If you're not beating up people, what are you doing in the Touhou game? But crazy enough, we get some reprisal from Eren Yagakoro from the original, from Touhou 8. We get a reprisal. She's back. And she's like, hey, so I know your name is Reimu Hakurai, and you happen to be the main character, but I will warn you that there is a literal war going on, like, with thousands of people shooting at each other. It would be highly advised if you took a random medicine drug that I made just a couple hours ago as a funny project to keep yourself safe, lest you get caught in the caught in the war and drop dead because there's a little war going on.
This is not an exaggeration, by the way.
And so Ray was like, "Okay, I'll drink the random mystery drug. Sure, you've never failed anyone before. I don't think it's possible for you to fail anyone. So, all right, fine, I'll take the mystery drug." And so then they go up and they go to the moon. And this mystery drug is actually incorporated in the game. There are 2 modes of play because Touhou 15 is just this hard. There is the legacy mode, which is just your standard Touhou fare, 3 lives, all that good stuff, yada yada yada. But you can also choose to play on point device mode, where you take Aaron's drug, and basically
you get save states.
You get save states. That's the entire gameplay mechanic. Is you get save states. All of the stages are divided into little sections, and if you die, you get sent back to the like beginning of the last section. So there's a lot of leniency there. But the problem being is that you don't have any lives, so you have to 1cc the game. And it is easier than Legacy mode, but do not be tripped up. Legacy of Lunacy Kingdom, or Lunatic Kingdom, is absolutely insane. This game is ridiculously hard. I honestly don't know what Zun was thinking, but he must have been on something when he was designing these stages. These stages are insane. These bosses are insane. This game has gained a crazy reputation for being just absolutely bonkers. It's in the name. So honestly trying to play on anything besides point device mode, in my opinion, is a grand mistake. And a great act of hubris. And that whole game is absolutely crazy. You basically need point device mode. It's designed around the fact that you have to use essentially save states to get through it. And oh man, does it show. I honestly, I would love to play that game. I really would. But honestly, it's just too hard. I just don't like playing it. It's just too hard. I can't do it.
So the fun part, going back to what you said about Reimu being like, I want to beat someone up in a previous game, that's literally how Junko goes. Reimu gets to her and she's like, okay, I'm here. And Junko's like, I lost. You win. And Reimu's like, it can't be this easy. You know what? I'm beating you up anyway. That's literally what she says.
Yeah, pretty much. Yuko loses the war, like, mid-game. You get there a little late. A little late to the party. But that doesn't stop Reimu. She's gotta be on something. Oh gosh, drawing Clown Piece was a mistake. A fun mistake, but a mistake.
Clown Piece is best girl.
Oh, Clown Piece.
Literally wears an American flag to anger the Lunarians.
It's so funny. I respect the grind, honestly.
The Lunarians are really angry the Americans planted their flag on the moon. Yeah. So Clown Piece is like, I'm gonna wear a flag just to annoy you guys. She's got the curly hair too. I realize a lot of Touhou characters have this hair actually. A lot of them. There we go. This do fine. And we're gonna give her this expression because this is how it feels like when you're fighting Clown Piece. A very infamously hard boss. I don't want to fight Clown Piece ever again. I've done it once. I'm good. Perfect.
And then the extra stage is no better.
She had to fight Junko again.
The extra stage is no better. It's just like I'm on like a great streak right now. I feel like beating up a god. Who should I go for? Spin the wheel. That's the entire extra stage. It's great. And then she just goes up and beats up the most powerful god in the Touhou universe. Which I guess makes Reimu the most powerful god in the Touhou universe. Unfortunate, I guess. But that actually will not stay true for long. That actually won't stay true for very long. I won't spoil anything, but Reimu will not be the most powerful thing in the Touhou universe for a little bit here. And, oh, clown piece. Oh, clown piece. Oh, how silly you are. The next game's even more silly. Because it involves backdoors.
Hehe.
Yes, yes. And I guess we're technically in Modern Era 3?
Yeah.
This is where I would draw the line, I'd say. 16. It's completely vibes-based analysis, but you know, we're not going to talk about that. It's an arbitrary designation, but shh. 16 is a whole thing. Oh my gosh. So basically, there's this god that has been chilling in the background for all of Gensokyo's existence. Her name is Okina Matara, who I have up on my wall over here. You can't see her, but she's up on my wall over there. Maybe I'll take her down at the end of the presentation. But she's up there on my wall. I love her so much. She is so fun. I love this game so much. Is it a bad opinion? Yes, but I don't care. And she's kind of getting bored, kind of just sitting around in the background of the Touhou games. It's like, all right, well, I gotta do something. It's been so long. I can't just sit around here forever. I gotta do something with my life. And so she is like, okay, well, I also kind of need some new servants. These old ones are getting a little worn out. And by that I mean I'm tired of looking at their faces. So they're out of here. I don't know what she does. Probably kills them. Who knows? I don't care. It's like, okay, I need new people. I need new people to take over. So instead of doing like a I don't know, like putting out like a sign or something, maybe putting up like a, you know, servant for hire, slightly above minimum wage, slight risk of violence, you know, all that good stuff. She instead, I guess, forcefully pulls the entirety of Gensokyo. Essentially, she basically starts this giant Gensokyo-wide beatdown by giving everyone cool powers, by putting back doors on them. Yes, back doors, not like literal doors on their back. That absorb like the different elements, like the different seasons, like spring, summer, winter, and fall. So she gives everyone these crazy powers. It's like, all right, so whoever ends up winning this giant Gensokyo-wide battle royale, I guess, they can be my servant. I'm only looking for the best of the best, for the best god, of course. And so of course Gensokyo is in chaos. The seasons are all out of whack because Okina's using them to give people cool powers, including the main cast, mind you. They also get the cool backdoor powers. So, guess whose job it is to go get to the bottom of things and see what's going on? Of course, it's Reimu. It's Reimu, it's Marissa, it is Aya, and Cyrano, who is finally making it into main cast. Good job, Cyrano. Good job, you're now part of the main cast. Welcome to the team.
And she has a tan.
She does also have a tan. Why? I don't know, Zun was feeling quirky that day, I guess. It's a whole thing. But So they go over to Matar and they're like, hey, so why? What's up? How we doing? Are you okay? What's the vibes? And she basically tells Reimu everything I just told you. It's like, and Reimu's like, well, okay. But it kind of looks like you already found your servants. You already have 2 of them right here. And she's like, yo, yeah, I found my servants a little bit ago. I picked them out. They're great. He's like, okay, well, why are you not? You can stop now, then, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's really funny watching you guys run around and like beat each other up with the cool powers, and it's hilarious to watch. I think I'll just keep going. And so she does, and of course they fight. And to finally break from tradition, Reimu canonically loses this fight against Okina. Yes, Reimu finally loses a battle. At last, it's finally happened. Reimu...
Yeah, Okina wipes the floor with Reimu.
It's not even a contest. It's great. And then she's like, okay, well, this was a waste of time. And as Reimu's like, wait, I have tea. And he's like, oh, no, I don't hear you, Mom. He's like, oh. And she's gone. And the entire extra stage is dedicated to Reimu essentially getting the salty run back. He's like, okay, fine, if you want to run it back that bad. And Reimu does win this one. He's like, okay, fine, I'll stop the whatever, and I'll just chill out. And of course, I don't think I need to elaborate on what happens next. I think we know now. Reimu has Okina just where she wants her. See her slowly. Like, you want some matcha? You know what happens from there. And the seasons are actually integrated into the game really well. Essentially, every character has their like main shot type, but you can add another character's shot type onto it as well through the seasons, the seasonal system. Each character is kind of inherently tied to a season. Reimu is spring, Cyrano is summer, Aya is fall, and Marissa is winter. So you can sort of mix and match the shot types a little bit. It's very fun actually. It's super creative. It's one of the reasons why I really like the game irrationally, because I get to play mix and match with all my favorite characters. And also I think Okina's the greatest. Blessed be. So that's all of Touhou 16. Very fun. By the way, just as like a whole thing, if any game like past like Touhou 9 has interested you, you can buy them all on Steam. So something to consider. If any game past Touhou 9 has interested you so far, please go support Zun. We weren't able to support him for the longest time because his games weren't on Steam, but the future is now, old men, and you can now officially buy the Touhou games on Steam, and I would highly recommend it. Definitely go support Zun. Great. Buy him a beer.
I'm sure he'd love it.
I'm sure he'd love it. So, Touhou 17. Oh wait, Touhou 17 is so weird. Touhou 17 is very, very weird. And so is Touhou 18, but Touhou 17 is like the strangest plot out of them all. And it's almost completely unrelated to Touhou. Like the main characters don't even really get involved. It's crazy. It basically has nothing to do with Gensokyo. Basically, back down in like hell, there's like this animal kingdom. I think it's down in hell. Somewhere around there. There's this big old animal kingdom, and they are having a big old fight down there. They're having a huge fight down there because there's this like vigilante group that wants to take over basically the rest of the world. They're like, oh, we don't need to stay here in the animal kingdom. We can go do we can go like do a little colonization. And then, you know, there's other people who are like, maybe not. Let's not take over the world, maybe. And so they're having a big ol' fight. And so, because they're vaguely connected to Gensokyo, and because Reimu's a figure that exists, you know, they're like, the opposing side that wants to stay down in the Animal Kingdom is like, hey, we're struggling a little bit here, but you know who wouldn't struggle? The most powerful being in the entire universe, Reimu Hakurai. And her friends too, I guess. Might be fun. So, these animal spirits, they go up to Gensokyo and essentially take over the main cast's body and bring them back down to basically fight their war for them. So, you don't even get to hear much of, like, Reimu or Marissa or Yomu, who's back. Yomu's playable again. You don't get to hear really anything of what they say, because they're all taken over by spirits. The spirits are talking through them. And they're sort of just bodies that are being used by proxy because they know, because the animal spirits know that they've basically won already, because they're inhabiting the most powerful beings in the entire universe. As been demonstrated multiple times. So, they go all the way down, and they use Reimu and Marissa and Yomu's bodies to stomp out the resistance and return peace and just tell them to, like, just calm down. But of course, because this is in fact, you know, because they are in fact using Reimu's body, he cannot be foregone. It's a conclusion. It's a little bit of a weird tea time because, you know, they don't exactly remember all what happened. They just kind of wake up at tea time. Like, oh, whoa, what are we doing at tea time? Look at these guys. It's very strange.
A little bit.
But you actually get to choose which animal you get possessed by, and it not only has an impact on your shot type, it also has an impact on the dialogue as well, because it's mostly the spirits that are doing all the talking. So if you pick like a different spirit for your secondary shot type, you get different dialogue as well. It's very fun, and all the characters have these new like animal dresses. They're cute. They're great. And all the music is weird. Zun was on his experimental arc on this game, and I don't know why. But I'm so here for it. It all sounds fantastic. And this game also has like a hyper mechanic. It kind of works in the same ways that the UFOs do from Touhou 12, if you remember when we were talking about that back then. But like, so they, like, the spirits, like, you pick up the spirits, and if you get 5 in a row, or just, I think it's like at least 3 in a row, you get like a hyper, where like it boosts like your shot type a little bit, depending on what spirit you pick. It's actually quite intricate. It's pretty interesting, and a lot more fun than Touhou 12. But don't tell Touhou 12 I said that, because me and Touhou 12 are on weird grounds. I hate it with a burning passion, but I also have the Nue Hoju statuette, like, right back there, directly off screen, so... complicated relationship. But, yeah, very strange, and very fun, actually. I think Touhou 17 is, like, one of the most fun games in, like, a long time. I was really happy when it came out. Who should I draw for Touhou 17? Who do I just draw? Did I just draw Yeehaw Girl?
I would say yes.
Alright, we gotta draw Yeehaw Girl. Yeehaw Girl is exactly what it sounds like. I'm not even kidding. There's a Yeehaw Girl in Touhou. She's got the big old boots. We're gonna draw those now. Meow. Yeah, these boots are made for walking, baby. And she's gonna be standing on Touhou 13. Perfect. Yeah, big old boot time. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
And her entire ability, this character, I forget her name. Refresh. What's her name? She's too recent, I don't remember her name. Kutaka? I think it's Kutaka or something.
I don't remember either.
That's fair. And I think she even has a Yeehaw vest. She goes full Yeehaw, it's great. But her entire ability is that she's really good at kicking people. That's the entire bit. She's just really good at kicking people. You got Flandre over here who can destroy anything. Yukari who manipulates boundaries. Sakuya who literally stops time. And then person who I'm going to continue calling Kutaka, who kicks things really hard. Very interesting, very funny. Yeah. Yeehaw vest enabled. She is going to irrationally have a gun for no reason. Why? I said so. This is not canon. And how do I draw a Yeehaw hat? That's a Yeehaw hat for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, partner. She's so big.
Eek.
And of course, she's got to have the frills at the bottom here, because this is a dress in a Touhou game. And I'm making her sheriff.
What I want to know is, where's the sheriff?
We found her! This is not too far off from her actual design. I'm not even kidding.
It really isn't.
Oh gosh. And she's like the head of the resistance movement. Her and her yeehaw kicking abilities. Oh, it's glorious. Touhou 18! Or, as I like to call it, Gensokyo discovers capitalism.
Accurate.
Oh no. This is the last game, canonically. We're finally at the end of the mainline Touhou series. We're finally here. And it really is just Gensokyo discovers capitalism. Basically, there's this god of open markets. I'm not even kidding. She's a god of market economics, basically. And she waltzes into Gensokyo and is like, well, gee golly. These people aren't engaging in the free market. What are these people doing? They're just giving away their food? Hello? What are you doing? You put work into that. You should be making money, which is definitely a thing that should be instituted in Gensokyo. And so, she gets someone to mine up a bunch of stuff, get a whole economy going, and basically start selling collectible trading cards. I'm not kidding. Her scheme is that she has set up an entire capitalist market system to sell trading cards to Gensokyo. That's her thing. That's the vibe. And so now all of Gensokyo is like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. We can buy things with money now. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. I want to buy all of the cool trading cards. And of course, Rain was like, what? No. What? No, stop. No. Why? Why? No! Why? And so, it is now Reimu's job to dismantle capitalism. Yeah! Go, Reimu!
Go, Reimu.
Here to, destroy the free market. It is, it's interesting. So she literally goes around beating people up who are buying trading cards, and then going up to the god of free markets is like, you, stop it, no! And then beats her up, of course. And naturally, of course, after they beat her up, the free market doesn't end. It doesn't end. It'll take a little bit before we end the free market, but, you know, we've got the main culprit down at least. So, of course, he's like, alright, would you like to have some tea? And of course our, what's her name? Shimada, that's her name. Shimada, the goddess of, free markets. Her name's Shimada, I'm pretty sure. She's like, how much does it cost? Of course, Raven's like, get over here, you nerd. And they have tea, completely free of cost, fully cementing the fact that capitalism is in fact dead in Gensokyo. Except not really, because the next spin-off game still has the free market thing going on. So, they're working on it. It's a work in progress. and so that currently ends, kind of, sort of, a little bit. That's the end of the main Touhou timeline. That's the last game in the mainline series that has been released. We're finally... yeah, that is fine. Touhou 18. We made it to the end of the main series. Though, there is some more stuff to mention. Don't worry, we're not nearly done. Just because Touhou is over does not mean we get to stop talking about Touhou. Absolutely not. Oh gosh. Oh, you know what I should do? You know what I should do? Yeah. Yeah. Bring back the funny joke. Yeah, heh. Yeah, big money. For some reason, 18's extra boss is wielding a golden pickaxe. Why? I don't know. This is how it is. She's playing Minecraft and Gensokyo. It's very strange. And, actually, funny thing about that extra boss from 18 that I'm drawing right now in perfect recreation. Very funny story about them. They are the cause of, I think, the first canonical death in Touhou. Which is crazy to think about. Like, the first actual real, like, characters gone for real actually died death. Which is insane. Basically, I forget what her name is, because this is, like, the most recent of all most recent characters in the mainline series, so, of course I don't know their name yet. I haven't had, too many years to think about it. But, her deal is she is modeled after a yokai that has the ability to eat dragons. That's her deal. She's a big centipede that can eat dragons. And there does happen to be a dragon in the Touhou universe. Kind of. Her name's Yachi. She was introduced in Touhou 17. And, it is claimed that she has mysteriously disappeared by the time of Touhou 18, and it is heavily implied that she's dead because she has been eaten.
Dang.
Which is crazy. And I don't think there's any other characters that have died like that. Yarn. This is drawing this Minecraft character is taking a surprisingly long amount of time. Yeah, no, it's implied she's literally dead. She's gone. Does not exist anymore. So, a salute to Yachi, who is sadly one of my, like, favorite new characters. I really like Yachi. She's very fun. And she looks sick. Alright, Google, tell me what this character looks like so I can draw them. Because there's no way I remember. It's just too recent. Oh, and of course, the first things that come up is just this character, just in Minecraft. It's the first thing that comes up. Of course. Thank you, Internet. Very much appreciated. Perfect. All the good characters are the ones that die. True, I don't know why I have such a bad track record with liking characters that die. I mean, out of all Touhou characters, this is the one that dies, and it's one I like. It's, like, what the heck? It's so sad. Yeah, long hair. Cool. Yep, this is... Yeah. This is fine. And we'll give her the golden pickaxe that she wields. I don't know why she does. And she also gets a golden shovel. So, kind of stacked. She's been mining very well. Good job. Dang, this is good art. I don't know if I'd say that. Of course, you gotta get the frills on the end. Very important. You would never leave a Touhou character without the frills. It would be a war crime. They would cease to be a Touhou character. Alright. We've just about filled out the board because we are done with the games. Right now we're at 18.5. Oh, stop. I guess I can't draw the 5 there, but 5 implied. And it sort of marks like a nice point in the series as well, because this at the point that Touhou 18.5 was released, it was dropped on the 100th Comiket, which is the sort of like Doujin Circle indie gaming convention for Japan. It's where Zun got started off way back in Touhou 1 days, and so as I guess a little bit of a send-off for 100 years, we got a cool spin-off game to sort of mark the 100th Comiket, which is very cool. I'm big on it. It's very nice. And I actually think, yeah?
Rena, sorry, 1 second to interrupt you. I just want to let you know that I have been swapped onto comms here, taking over for KSS.
Good.
And I don't know anything about Touhou, so I am ready to commentate on this. Definitely, 100%. Let's go.
Well,
Woo!
all you have to do is, I mean, listen, all you have to do is be confused and ask questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to learn.
Yes. And now we have to get into the fandom side. Oh,
Woo!
boy! Because there's more famous things you have to know about if you were to fully integrate into the Touhou community. We've gone over a couple things, like 9ball over here. Hello, Cyrano. What's up? Did you know that it is some people's entire, rent-paying career to make Touhou fan content. I'm not kidding. It is some people's full-blown career to make Touhou fan content. It is that big in Japan.
That's amazing,
yeah.
actually.
Oh yes, it's fantastic. Because Touhou is so big in Japan, like it's bigger than any indie game is over here. The closest thing I could say is like, I don't know. What's a really popular indie game? Like a really, really popular. Like, Zuna's kind of like it's kind of like an Eastern Edmund McMillan, if that kind of makes sense. Except way more popular. Like way, way, way more popular. It's not even a comparison. Like, you ask a normal person if they've heard of Touhou, and they will absolutely tell you yes over there. There's actually some very funny stories about just how popular Touhou is. My favorite one to tell is at Japan's like big gaming convention. It's sort of like I forget its name, but it's sort of like Japan's version of E3, where all like the popular Japanese people come over and they get together for like an E3 type of convention. They show off their games and stuff and whatnot. It's in a pretty big convention center, and it's sort of like it's like a big gaming convention, right? And so they hold this convention every year, and usually they just invite like AAA publishers, right? Because that's sort of what the event's for. But just one time, I think it was a couple years back, just one time, Zun showed up to this convention. And while the space has been sort of comfortably filled up in like previous years, because it's a big, it's a big gaming convention, and usually Platinum's there, and everyone loves Platinum. But
that is true.
The one single time Zun showed up to this convention to like advertise their game, they completely flooded the entire convention center so bad that they had to move him to a separate room, a separate convention center, because they were like far beyond like legal capacity for the convention center.
Wow. Yeah.
There were so many people that came exclusively for Zun that they had to get him out to make sure like they didn't like have like a fire hazard on their hands. It was a whole thing. So Touhou's huge, gigantic, and of course, a lot of people, because of the way Zun enforces the copyright on Touhou, he's very, very relaxed with it. Outside of like direct pirating attempts, maybe, and even then, he's pretty chillax with direct pirating attempts, like if it's not in Japan, hence Moira Shrine being up for so long. But like even like that, he's pretty chill about. You're free to use the characters however you want, and even sell like your own artwork and your own games if they use Touhou characters. He couldn't care less.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. Like having it be like almost open source, like
pretty much.
Like that's kind of like what it is. Yeah, like similar to like the way Hatsune Miku, I think, is also kind of.
Yeah, it's
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to that actually, because a lot of people, they make money as musicians exclusively making remixes of Touhou music. There's some big ones. The big one to know is BunniestBunRena Records. I think I'm saying that right. But they're famous for, well, not only just making great music, but if you've ever heard Bad Apple before, which you have, don't lie to me, it's the cool music video with the shadow art. You've probably seen it floating around. You've probably heard it at least one time before.
Probably, yeah.
That's them. And it's now one of the most, like, it's one of the most watched, it's probably the most watched piece of, oh my gosh, YouTube, please, I'm begging you. Yonk. It is probably, one of the most watched pieces of Touhou media ever created. So, there's that. and they sell their records just like a normal record. Like, they just sell them as if they were like a normal like artist, which is something a lot of Touhou remix artists do. A lot of doujin circles focus entirely on Touhou, do nothing else. Which means that the remix community around Touhou is huge. It's immensely huge. There's so many different artists out there, and they all have a different sound. There's a joke in the Touhou community that, like, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of music you like, you'll find Touhou music anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Great. That's
like,
great.
it literally doesn't matter what genre into. Are you into like drum and bass music? Oh yeah, there's a bunch of drum and bass Touhou remixes. I've seen folk Touhou remixes. I've seen house Touhou remixes. I've seen like country Touhou remixes. I've seen rap Touhou remixes. The whole shebang. Nothing is safe. There's no sacred territory in the realm of Touhou remixes.
That rules.
I guarantee you, if you just look up Touhou and then genre, like on YouTube, any genre at all, you'll find results. It doesn't matter where you go. It's super, super fun, actually. I guess another famous thing to mention is Cool and Create. They make electronic remixes. They like a little more like fast-paced ones. And they're the people that are behind Night of Nights, which is a pretty famous remix within the community. It's really just like a really, really fast version of Flowering Night from Touhou 9. But for some reason, people really like it. People really, really like it. So you'll hear it. You probably may even already have heard it. It gets used in a lot of weird places. In fact, a lot of Touhou music gets used in a lot of weird places. If you've ever played, like, any Super Mario World ROM hack, Touhou music is actually really popular in Touhou ROM hacking. They were some of the first music choices for early ROM hackers, because it was some of the earliest music to like get ported over the engine, which is very strange to me.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Also, I guess if you're doing like a ROM hack or whatever, it's probably good to not be using the original music. Also, and you can kind of get away with Touhou because it's like open, kind of like I keep saying open source, but I don't know if that's the right term for it.
Because nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly.
If you use Touhou music, no one's gonna get on your case about it.
Yeah.
So it's always a popular choice. And of course, Touhou continues to reach farther and farther. Does anyone here play fighting games? If you do, then you know about Salty Bet, surely.
Of course I... Yes,
Salty
sorry,
Bet.
I was muted. Of course I know about Salty Bet.
Oh,
It's
well,
like my favorite.
Oh, I have great news. Touhou characters are immensely popular on Salty Bet as well. Mostly the Hisoten Soku characters. But once you know what the Touhou characters look like, once you know like what even like one of the Touhou sprites looks like, and you recognize a Touhou character, you will see them pop up everywhere. They are really popular choices for Salty Bet as well. Which is nice.
Just gotta look out for those frills, you know?
Oh yeah. If they have a funny hat, if they got the frills, you can almost definitely say it's probably a Touhou character.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You'll definitely know once they start shooting bullets. That's the dead giveaway. Of course, Touhou seeps its way into a lot of different things. Also seeps its way into rhythm games. Y'all play rhythm games? Yes, you do.
Love rhythm games.
Oh, I got great news. Any Japanese Touhou game will probably have some Touhou remixes in there.
Nice.
It's crazy because I've even gone to some of my local American arcades. At least back when I was in Las Vegas. I'd just go to some arcades that happen to have rhythm games, and wouldn't you know it, I'd find Bad Apple or Cyrano's Perfect Math Class or something like that, like just as an option. They're really popular choices for rhythm games because they're really popular songs.
Yeah.
Especially the Iosis ones. Iosis is responsible for a lot of memery within the Touhou community. They do a lot of remixes, and the accompanying videos that come with their remixes, almost all of them have become memes. Almost all of them. They're a meme factory. Japan loves them, and so do I. They're actually fairly popular also in the YouTube poop space, because, as we discussed last time, part of it's sort of birthed from Touhou a little bit, from the Japanese community, and oh, they love the Iosis. There's a pretty famous one, called Marissa Stole the Precious Jam. If you've ever seen it, that's Touhou. It is it's an Iosis remix, paired with, of course, Space Jam, because what else? It's very good. It's very fun.
Of course, you gotta have a Space Jam remix.
Of course, you always have to, and you'll find it pop up in the weirdest places, because because the Japanese community has such influence, and it's obviously spread over to America. Though strangely enough, Zun doesn't, like, rarely comes over to America. Strangely enough, I believe he's only ever come over to America one time, and specifically he came over to Anime Weekend Atlanta, I believe. He came over to Anime Weekend Atlanta, which officially cemented it as the Touhou convention.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's such a like, that's not what I think of when I think of anime conventions, but that rules.
Oh yeah. You'll see lots of Touhou cosplayers at all anime conventions, all of them. They're really popular cosplay choices as well. I have three of them in my closet right now. You can see my closet.
Nice.
You can see them. You can see the Touhou cosplay in there. But they're super popular for conventions as well, because well, most of them aren't crazy to put together. Maybe going as Nue might be like a big endeavor, but you know. I've actually been to Anime Weekend Atlanta. I go there with my podcast friends because we run a Touhou podcast.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
We do a panel there when we can. Which characters do I like to cosplay? Resin, Yudong, and Inaba, of course. I can't say no to my bun. I also have Utsuho Ryuji in there. And I wanna say... I have Murasa in there as well. Minamitsu Murasa. I think all characters we've discussed, I think. Yeah, here's Utsuho down here, firing our mini-sun. And we got Resin up here. The first drawing. The bullet hell. No drawing of Murasa, though, unfortunately. We went with Nue for our Touhou 12. But, see, I bring those out at the convention, too. It's very fun. I'm thinking about doing another one soon, honestly. It's a gold mine. It's a gold mine for cosplay. It really is. And I'd like to give a shout out to a friend of mine who I think has the best Touhou cosplay ever, which is a Cyrano that is built entirely out of Walmart bags. I'm not kidding. It is Cyrano with a dress comprised entirely of Walmart bags, and
That's amazing.
It's the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Along with fan music, fan games are really popular. Because Touhou is essentially the world's biggest indie game, it spawns a lot of indie games from it, as you can imagine. There are people whose entire job, of course, is to make Touhou games that aren't official. Which is a whole thing. Some ones you might know is Touhou Luna Night, which is one of the big ones over here.
I've been wanting to play that.
Oh, I got great news. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's the one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. That's the one that I was like, yes, I want to play that. I didn't realize it was a Touhou game, and I was like, this looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a Touhou fan game. It's made by Team Ladybug. which, funnily enough, went on to go make like a modern classic shoot 'em up themselves called Dranius. It's really good. I think it's on sale. So you know, thanks Touhou once again. But Touhou Luna Nights is basically Castlevania, but you get to play as Sakuya with all of her time-stopping abilities. It's great.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You get to
this is the same studio that made Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit, and Wonder Labyrinth, the game.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. Okay, very cool. That was a good game too.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a lot of
cool.
Touhou.
I think I have to 100% play Luna Nights now.
Oh yeah. So that's like one of the big ones because it's a gorgeous game and you get to play as you get to essentially play as Dio Brando. So there's really no downsides.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like to stop time?
Exactly. World.
Right? Some more famous, and it's interesting because a lot of these Touhou fan games get officially published, the popular ones. Of course, the obvious example being the, like, 0.5 series of fighting games that we talked about earlier, which are all technically Touhou fan games made by Twilight Frontier. Zun just officially sanctions them, which is sort of kind of how it works for all of the spin-offs for the most part that aren't, like, clearly made by Zun. And if you need your Touhou gacha fix, there's like a good handful of Touhou gachas, the big one being Lost Word, which is again technically a fan game. That just happens to be officially sanctioned by Zun after it got finished. So if you want to see if you really need to gamble your life savings away, be my guest, I suppose. Get those JPEGs, sweaty. That's also a big one. Maybe you've seen it around. There's a bunch of Touhou like Skydrift, I believe, which is Touhou Mario Kart. That got officially put on Switch.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we have Touhou Mario Kart. You play as girls who are standing on other girls, and you fly, and it's very cool.
Okay, I have to look this up. Yeah.
It's actually a really well built game. I've only played the demo because I played the demo back when it came out and it was a whole thing. It looked kind of like an Unreal Engine thing. It was very interesting and it's still fun. It's still super fun. That's another one that's kind of been going around and it got published. Of course, Twilight Frontier is not only responsible for the fighting games, but also a bunch of other not-so-sanctioned games that I think we talked about a little earlier, but I guess should probably be mentioned again, because, you know, this is the look at all the cool stuff the fanbase is doing section of the lecture. Oh, hey, it's reverse ideology, so if you want to think about Sage or some more, this is her theme. It's just as chaotic as you think it would be. But they also made Megamari, which is Touhou and Mega Man. So if you need some more Mega Man action, and you happen to be interested in Touhou, great news. There's the game for you. There's oh gosh, Super Mario World, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's very fun. And because Touhou is like kind of popular in the Super Mario World ROM hacking scene, there is a full Touhou ROM hack that converts Super Mario World into Touhou 8 Imperishable Night, and it's very fun. It's very cool. I've checked it out. It's really fun. So if you like ROM hacks, great news. There's no end to the Touhou fan games. It's another thing where, like, if you look up a genre and then Touhou, you'll find at least one game, and it might even be sold on an official storefront or might be on the Switch. These days, you never know. These games do get officially released. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The first one to officially come over to America, I believe, is Touhou Genso Rondo Bullet Ballot, I believe. I think that's the first one. It got officially published by NIS America, strangely enough. They picked up the game and sold it. And it's like a Touhou version of a game nobody plays. And hilariously enough, it's become the version of that series that everyone knows now, which is so unfortunate. Because Senko no Rande is just a great series on its own, but nope, it's Touhou now. Oops. Once again, Touhou taking over the shmup scene, which is some weird thing that has kind of happened with the crazy popularity of Touhou in Japan. It's sort of like taken over shoot-em-ups in general. Like it's slowly like wormed its way into like every like major shoot-em-up. There are like a lot of people who just like make like shoot-em-ups and then like they're Touhou shoot-em-ups, and we even have gone so far that now the originators of the bullet hell genre, Cave Company Limited, the people behind Dodonpachi, Mushihime-sama, Death Smiles, all those games, they are now working for Zun. They're making a Touhou game.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, that's
so
perfect circle there.
Yeah,
like...
the cycle is complete. Touhou has officially taken over all shmup. It's only Touhou now. And we get to fully come around, because after all this time, Touhou is also now officially getting an arcade game release. And supposedly it's a shmup. So crazy developments in the Touhou world as it slowly takes over the entire shoot 'em up community. Thanks. Much appreciated. It's actually not that bad of a thing. I joke about it, but I love it. I love Touhou.
Yeah,
even if it is,
I mean, you love Touhou, you love shmups, so it seems like a perfect combination there.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, even if it may be a Leviathan that is slowly eating up the entire community, it's fine. It's fine. And of course, this may sound crazy, but there are people whose entire job it is to make Touhou games that are not, like, knockoff Touhou games that are not officially sanctioned by Zun. Like, it's not even like, oh, they're like a different... No. They're just Touhou games. They're just Touhou games. They just make Touhou games in their free time, and they don't get paid for it. Well, some of them, they get paid for it a little bit. But they just make fan-made Touhou games, and that's their entire career. Their entire circle is dedicated to just making fan-made Touhou games. Which is a whole other thing. There's a whole other community just making, like, bog standard, like, real Touhou games. I've actually shown one off on Lady Arcaders. If you'll remember Hollow Song of Birds, that's not an official Touhou game. That's a fan game. Zun did not make that game. It's a small team of people. And that small team of people have also made a lot of Touhou fan games. That is not their first foray. They also made Book of Star Mythology, I believe. And they also made Infinite Blade Pavilion. And there's a few more that they made that I'm not thinking of. I think they're the same people behind Mystical Power Plant, but I might be wrong. Point being, I should not be able to mention as many names as I have right now. There's a whole thing around just making Touhou games that aren't made by Zun, and it's actually super fun. They usually bring a lot of, like, interesting takes to the series. For Hollow Song of Birds, we got, like, Egyptian mythology stuff, which is something that hasn't been explored in the main series yet. And with Book of Star Mythology, it's like a bunch of fun Zodiac stuff. It's really cool. It's really fun. So if you somehow have ran out of Touhou games, not even that is the end of the shoot 'em up fun. If you just need more Touhou games to play, the internet's got you. There's a lot of them. There's there's Concealed the Conclusion, which I don't think runs on modern systems anymore, but it's really cool, and it will make you cry. But it's if you can get it running, that is. I think it only, like, runs on, like, Windows 7 machines. It's really unfortunate. But I know some of you nerds still have Windows 7 installed. I know some of you do, because I'm no better. I wanted to keep Windows 7 so badly.
Same.
But alas, no fun for me. But some of you still have Windows 7 installed. You could probably still play it. There's, oh gosh. There's some other ones that I'm not thinking about. Oh, gosh. There's Marine Benefit, which doesn't look that great, but actually plays really well. I played it on stream one time. I thought it was going to be a joke game, but it ended up being really fun. Then there's like a bunch of like smaller games. So like if you're not looking for a full Touhou experience, you just want like a couple levels. There's that too. There's entire games that are just like a couple levels, like or just like one. Touhou Fantasia is free on Steam. You can play it. It's just like one free Touhou level with a Nya cat. So I know some of you are gonna be into that. And on top of that, if even that is not enough to satiate your Touhou desire for pure shmupping, if somehow that is not enough, the Touhou modding scene is also very big. There's a lot of Touhou modding. People get in their custom, they get in their custom bosses, they get in like custom stages, quality of life improvements, the whole shebang, custom playable characters. There's so much. And of course, the Touhou modding community also acts as the Touhou English patching community. So not only will they allow you to read the games in English, but also a lot of your native languages. Because Touhou is so popular just generally around the world now, we don't only see exclusively English translations anymore. You can actually, for the most part, especially some of the older games, read all the dialogue and names in your native language. It's very nice. The translating community has really gone out of their way for Touhou. It's super nice and super fun. But if you're just looking for like another character to play as well, also on the docket, there's an entire series of mods that make the games even harder. So if in case you like didn't have enough with lunatic difficulty, in case you needed more, there you go. There's also a lot of fantastic practice patches because admittedly the practice modes in the Touhou games are really bad. They're really bad. Especially around like Modern Era 1. They're really bad. Like there's not even like you don't even get to like practice the spell cards. They literally just plop you at the beginning of a stage. It's really bad. But of course, for all the flaws the game has, the community is here to fix it. So if you need to practice certain portions of the game, the modding community's got you covered. All that good stuff. And if you thought the idea of a Phantasm level was really cool when I mentioned it back in Touhou 07, if you wanted more of that because it hasn't reappeared in the series ever again for some reason, if you wanted that, modding community has you covered. There's a Phantasm level for almost every single game in the series at this point. So, good job, modding community. And if that isn't enough Touhou shoot 'em up for you, if that somehow isn't enough still, somehow.
You must be a super fan at this point. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, just can't get enough Touhou.
If you still can't get enough, Zun has officially released the engine that he makes the games in and has fully licensed it for anyone to use. And this
That is
has
very
spawned an entirely different community that entirely focuses on making games in the Danmakufu engine, which is the engine that the Touhou games run on. And people make entirely custom boss fights, they make entire games, you can make anything in Danmakufu PH3, which is the most recent of these of the engines. It's the most recent version. It has its own coding language, so good luck with that. But there's an entire community dedicated exclusively to like making cool boss fights in Danmakufu. Like the Touhou scripters are crazy. If you've ever wanted to see something really cool done with the engine, I will direct you to AJS, who is my favorite scripter. Unfortunately, he does not make stuff anymore because I guess he has to, like, I don't know. I guess he will have to go to medical school or something. Whatever. But all of his scripts are fantastic. You can go check them out or play them yourself. And the great thing about all these projects is that you can play them. They are like separate entities you can play. It's not like off the table. And alongside that, you can typically use whatever playable character you want if you can mod it in. There are entire packs of like custom characters. So if you really want to use a certain character as your shot type, you 100% can. For pretty much every Danmakufu like solo script, you can use whatever character you want because it's like you just drop them into the characters file. And thankfully, we're finally done with the raw shmup stuff. If somehow the infinite creativity of all of these places is still not enough for you, then I'm sorry. Touch grass. I don't know. Just one.
Just once, yeah, just once, not more than once. Come on.
So as you can see, Touhou has like entire separate communities attached to it, and sometimes these communities like they don't fully overlap with the main series. There are people into the series who are either like entirely here for like the cool fan games, or they're entirely here for the cool lore, or they're entirely here for the music, and they've never played a Touhou game in their life. Not once. There's a lot of people like that who are big Touhou fans and have never played a game in their life. They just like crawl the wiki, I guess. And that's completely an option. So even if somehow you don't enjoy any video games, any music, or any interactive media whatsoever, if somehow that is a turnoff for you, you still don't have an excuse not to get into Touhou, because you can go wiki crawling and treat it as a novel. Speaking of novels, there are Touhou novels. I'm not kidding. Zun actually writes stories, just that take place in the Touhou universe.
That's very cool.
There's like there's like a bunch of like official novels and official manga that you can buy. I have one on the shelf back there. Well, is it on the shelf back there? I don't know. If it's not on that shelf back there, it's on my shelf back at home. I have Waddenhorn Hermit, and I can't read it because it's all in Japanese, but I bought it anyways. Maybe one day. But there's like an entire separate line of Touhou like manga and novels and stuff that have their own unique characters. Which finally brings us to our last and final male character in the series. So that's 4. Count them 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like how many? I've been trying to remember from last week. Yeah, 4. Okay,
4,
got it.
About. The only character who has made... The only male character who has appeared in the non-PC 98 era. And his name is Rinasuke. And he is a sort of a magician, kind of like Marissa. And he just runs a shop in the human village. And he's almost exclusive to the novels and the manga. He's only appeared in one game, and that is Touhou 13.5 Hopeless Masquerade, and he appears as a background character. So, blink and you'll miss him, but he's there technically, and it's the only time he's ever made an appearance, and probably the only time we'll ever see a male character appear in a game, ever, since the PC 98 era. You hate to see it, but it's how it be. And I think there's like one more male character that is exclusive novel, never appeared in anything else. Like appeared in like a few panels of a manga. His name's Fortune Teller, and he's a nothing character. He's a fortune teller. He looks like a ghoul. That's it. But a lot of the times, the manga exclusive characters don't ever really appear in the series. There's only really one example of that, which is Kasen, who is a hermit, and she appears in the later Touhou fighting games as a playable character. This is the only time it's ever really happened. Unfortunately, the other novel and manga specific characters, sorry, you out of luck. Go home. No fun. No fun for you. Stay drawn. And there's a lot of different kinds of Touhou novels and stuff, actually. There's these sort of misadventure ones. There's ones that actually follow a storyline. And there's a few outliers to even those as well. Some of the notable outliers are the Grimoire of Marissa, which is essentially just Marissa trying to get famous by selling her, like, notes, basically. But it essentially acts as a sort of, like, it sort of acts as, like, an in-universe explanation of a lot of the characters' spell cards. It's really interesting, actually. It's a super interesting read. It's like, it's essentially like an in-universe character's perspective on the games. It's really fun. There's also an entire novel following the BunniestBunRena newspaper, I believe, which is just a bunch of reporting from Aya, for better or worse. But it's there. And speaking of BunniestBunRena, there were also full Touhou magazines that went on for a while. I think there's a few of them that are still going on. There's like full Touhou magazines that, like, kind of they sort of just cover Touhou news, if I remember, but it's all from, like, the perspective of the BunniestBunRena newspaper. It's very cute. It's very fun, and you can't get access to it. Sorry, Japan. Ah, well. And there is sort of one final thing to touch on before we leave here. And hilariously enough, it's Zun's original music. And because I mentioned, once Touhou 6 starts, Zun starts just independently selling music, a lot of which just never shows up in the games. So not only does he sort of sell his music through his games, but he just makes albums now. And strangely enough, these albums have a separate canon. I'm not kidding.
Interesting.
Each new, like, album release follows a separate canon with the misadventures of these two friends. One of them is Renko, I believe, and I forget the other one's name. I'm completely blanking, but they literally just, like, enjoy life together, and they, like, talk about stuff, and that's, like, the plot of literally the plot of the CDs is, for the most part, just, like, two best friends, like, talking about Gensokyo and occasionally taking trips there.
That actually sounds kind of nice.
It is kind of nice. They just hang out.
Like, kind of like a slice of life, like...
Yeah. Like, in magical astronomy, they talk about how cool it would be to go to the moon, and then they go to the moon. And that's...
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. And, like, I think the most recent one, they're literally just, like, sitting around at, like, a bar and, like, discussing. Just talking. They're just hanging out at the bar. It's really wholesome stuff. It's bordering on homosexual, like dare I say.
Nice.
But,
love to see it.
Strangely enough, this is not the case for the first CD that Zun put out. The first CD is about someone getting murdered in Gensokyo. Little less wholesome. And doesn't have anything to do with Renko and company. So, But it's honestly one of my favorites. It's really interesting. But Renko and Gang don't make appearances. They're exclusive to the album releases. They never make appearances in any of the games, despite actively taking trips against Tokyo. Which is, I guess, sort of the I guess the final place we get to talk about the outside world. It exists in Touhou. It's a canon place in Touhou. It's only really talked about or cared about in the spin-offs and like places like the CDs, because Renko is from she's like a normal girl. She lives in Tokyo, which is a place that exists. The outside world is a real place in Touhou. And there's a few characters that are from there. Sumariko, who is was introduced in Touhou 14.5, is also from the outside world. And the entire plot of Touhou 14.5 is that essentially Sumariko is like a big fan of Reimu, and she just wants to hang out. It's the entirety of that game is Sumariko causing absolute chaos trying to stay in Gensokyo so she can hang out with all her favorite people. It's so funny. She literally has dreams about Gensokyo. It's great. So the outside world exists, and like people like canonically live there, and like there are characters that just go back and forth. It's very strange. Though you can only really exist in Gensokyo for like a short amount of time if you're like not going through the entrance. Sumariko only has so much time that she can spend in Gensokyo before the barrier essentially kicks her out. And same go for Renko and the gang, who can also only stay in Gensokyo for so long, unfortunately. But in terms of lore and stuff, I think we made it, guys. So, guys, we did it!
We did it!
We did it. The board is full. We have drawn many things.
This. Yeah, it's a very good board.
We have Touhou'd it up officially. Now you are officially prepared to start interacting with Touhou fans, and you might even know what they're talking about, like a little bit. Like it won't sound like they need to be instituted, you know? And in terms of other stuff, I would, again, you don't have an excuse not to get into Touhou after this. Touhou has wormed its way into every possible facet of life. It has wormed its way everywhere. You cannot escape it, even if you try. So you might as well join the collective. You know, before we have to force you in, you know? You wouldn't want that to happen. So, yeah. You know, if you want to come join of your own volition, then we won't have to get the cement brick out, you know? But, you know, it's all good. It's all good. If you just join, there won't be, we won't have any issues, capiche?
Well, I know personally that I have to play Luna Nights or Lunar Nights.
Oh, definitely.
Is it Luna or Lunar? So
Luna.
I'm at least a little bit more prepared for that.
Yeah.
After having watched your very good presentation and Unhinged Rant.
With Luna Nights, it's all the Scarlet Devil cast from Touhou 6, so don't worry, you'll get the full Touhou 6 rundown again.
Yeah.
As if you didn't need
it. Perfect. But thank you so much for being on. This was so cool to have. Like, I love doing these more unconventional showcases on Attract Mode because, like, it's so cool to just see you talk about something you're so passionate about, and I love it.
And I will do it again.
So thank you.
I will do it
so
again. Next time, I don't know what I'll do next time. It'll probably be... no, I don't know if I can do RPG horror. I feel like it would like get like too uncomfortable for stream, honestly, for Lady Arcaders. It's a whole thing. As much as I love it, I don't want to like... I don't want to make the entire stream uncomfortable because it gets into some crazy topics. Trust me, you would be. If I told you what half of the stream would be about, like you would say no. But maybe I'll do it. But
yeah, we'll talk.
I will come back for more. This is only one. This is only one of many. I will bring out the blackboard again. It will look just as chaotic. I assure you. Worry not. But for now, I guess class dismissed.
Thank you so much, Rena. Yeah, thank you so much for that. That was amazing. Of course, thank you to
Now I have to go message
KSS.
my mom.
Oh yes, please. It's mom time. And thank you also to KSS for being on for the first half. Appreciate it. Stick around, everyone, because we have some closing announcements before we go over on a raid. So, Rena, sorry, one more time. Anywhere we can find you?
I mean, this is now going to be my Lady Arcaders bit, so if you want to find me doing this, come on back. We'll have a great time. But aside from that, you can find me on my Twitch channel, which I never use anymore because I am in college now.
Mm-hmm.
You can find
BunniestBunRena.
I make music as well. You can find me as Bodaciously Kamek on Bandcamp, where I have a Touhou remix. It connects. I do it too.
Of course.
I'm no better. So if that interests you, you can find me there. Other than that, not really. I'm not a social media user. I just do this. If you want to check out my Touhou podcast, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not entirely super Touhou related, and quite frankly, it is incredibly vulgar, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But we've been going for like 4 years now, so take that as you will.
Yeah.
Aside from that, see you whenever I see you next, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see you back on Attract Mode. Hey everyone! Thank you so much for tuning in to Attract Mode today on twitch.tv/LadyArcaders. That was super cool. I've learned so much about Touhou between last week and this week. If you missed the first part of this showcase, you can catch it on our YouTube channel, and you can catch this VOD on our YouTube channel as well in a few days. So you can get all educated on Touhou. But, you know what? We have some more stuff coming up in the next week. Well, you know, next month. For all time, honestly. Lady Arcaders forever. But, specifically, on Thursday, February 2nd, we are going to be, watching Ina play 2, which you can't find this game. You have to search for it on itch.io if you're looking for it. But it is a wild game. It's going to be so much fun. And the gimmick is that, you know, it's kind of, it's Groundhog Day, it's February 2nd, we're playing the game too. Ina's going to be playing it twice, actually, as well. So, you know, we got all those good, number 2s in February. That was not the right way to say that. Anyway, 2. February 2nd. Come in and tune in for 2. And then after that, on February 5th, we are going to be doing a special Frost Fatale's crafting stream. It's not on the schedule here, yet, but that is... that is, what we are going to be doing on February 5th. Tune in, that's starting from February, or, I think we're starting at 2 p.m. The logistics and schedule will be getting released, this week. So make sure to tune in for that. I'm super excited for... you know, crafting. We're gonna be watching some awesome crafting happening. Video game crafting rules. And I'm so excited to finally have crafting on Lady Arcaders. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, you can see the other games that are coming up. Those are coming up later this month. I'm very excited for Sonic Colors, obviously. I've been on comms for Tora's Sonic Colors run before, and it's been very fun. And then, yeah, just stay tuned. If you want to submit something to Attract Mode, I am going to be putting out a call for submissions probably next week because we need to schedule showcases from end of February onwards and into March. So please make sure if there's something you want to show off here on Attract Mode, just you know, feel free to submit an application. There's a website on our website. There are links to the application form. So please make sure to check that out, ladyarcaders.com. And if you want to be on comms for any showcases, or you're like, hey, this is kind of cool, I like what you're doing right now here, talking to everyone, I want to do that too, you can you can volunteer on our website. There's an application on the website, ladyarcaders.com. And you can volunteer to be part of staff, you can volunteer to be hosts. We're currently looking for restreamers, we're looking for clip takers, we're looking for video editors, so please come on by and say hi. We'd love to work with you. So, in the meantime, that's all the announcements for today. I think that's it. I didn't stumble on that too badly, right? We're good. I'm a professional. So please stick around. We're going to go and raid Lum Kitty, who is playing Celeste. And that's going to be awesome. Celeste is a great game. Super impressed with anyone who can play that because I cannot. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in today. Thanks for hanging out. Y'all are lovely. We'll see you on Thursday. Bye.